In the pitch-black midnight hours at the Naval Special Warfare Center in Coronado, California, a squad of arrogant Navy SEALs, fueled by ego and alcohol, manhandle a young female sailor toward a fortified kennel pen. They lift her struggling body over the topped with razor wire concrete wall and toss her inside like discarded trash, where three massive, famished Belgian Malinois military working dogs wait in the shadows, their eyes glowing with primal hunger. "Get ripped apart, bitch!" the ringleader bellows, his voice dripping with malice as the pack charges forward with thunderous barks and exposed fangs. The men perch on the wall, phones recording, expecting blood and terror. But in one heart-stopping instant, everything flips. The snarling beasts recognize her scent, skid to obedient halts, and the woman rises as their unbreakable alpha. The predators just became prey to their own mistake. If you love your mom and dad, the everyday American heroes who sacrifice everything to raise strong patriots ready to defend this great nation, then smash that subscribe button right now, turn on notifications, and show this warrior woman some real love. We're building a family here of red-blooded Americans who appreciate grit, loyalty, and payback. Let's blow this channel up. Subscribe today. Alexandra Thorne, known to everyone simply as Alex, was born and raised on a 1,000-acre cattle ranch outside of Abilene, Texas, where the horizon seemed to go on forever and the summer heat baked the red dirt into cracked earth that told stories of hard work and resilience. Her father, Sergeant Major retired Jack Thorne, had served as an Army Ranger in Operation Desert Storm, coming home with scars both visible and hidden, but never once complaining. He taught Alex everything he knew about survival from the moment she could walk: how to handle a firearm with precision before she turned 10, how to track game across the arid plains, how to saddle a horse and ride through storms without fear. "Life ain't fair, darlin'," he'd say in his deep drawl, "but you make it bend to you." Her mother, Dr. Elena Thorne, was the local veterinarian who could stitch up a wounded steer or calm a rabid coyote with equal skill. Elena passed on her profound connection to animals, especially dogs. Alex spent countless hours in the barn helping birth litters, training border collies to herd cattle, and rehabilitating abused rescues. By the time she was 12, neighbors brought their aggressive dogs to her, whispering that the girl had the touch, a natural dominance that turned ferocity into loyalty. Alex's gift truly shone with high-drive working breeds. German Shepherds and Belgian Malinois, the kind bred for police and military work, responded to her like no one else. She could read their body language in a glance, correct with a subtle shift in posture, reward with a quiet word that meant more than any treat. At 14, she started entering Schutzhund competitions, the demanding sport that tested tracking, obedience, and protection. She dominated regionally, her dogs scoring perfect hundreds while handlers twice her age struggled. Local sheriff's departments noticed. By 16, Alex was contracting to train patrol dogs for Texas law enforcement agencies, selecting puppies from elite European bloodlines, imprinting them early, and turning them into reliable partners that saved officers' lives. Word spread. The Thorne girl didn't just train dogs. She forged unbreakable bonds, owning their hearts and minds completely. But small-town success wasn't enough for Alex. She craved the ultimate test, the chance to serve her country like her father had. On her 18th birthday, she walked into the Navy recruiter's office in Dallas and signed up, declaring her intent to become a military working dog, MWD, handler with aspirations for Naval Special Warfare support. The recruiter raised an eyebrow. A woman aiming for the SEAL pipeline's K9 element? It was rare, borderline unprecedented. Women had only recently been fully integrated into combat roles, and the SEAL community remained a brotherhood guarded fiercely. But Alex's scores were off the charts. Perfect ASVAB, exceptional physical fitness, glowing recommendations from law enforcement K9 units. She shipped to Great Lakes for boot camp, excelling in every evolution, then straight to Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio for the rigorous 120-day military working dog handler course. Lackland was brutal. The Texas heat mirrored home, but the regimen was unforgiving. Dawn to dusk training in detection, explosives, narcotics, patrol, apprehension, scouting, obedience under gunfire, and distractions. The class was 90% male, many with prior law enforcement experience, and some openly doubted a girl could handle the aggressive dual-purpose dogs. Alex silenced them day by day. Her natural authority shone. Instructors assigned her the toughest prospects. Dogs washed out from other handlers for being too drive-heavy, too dominant. She turned them around. Her final assignment: 3 elite Belgian Malinois imported from Dutch and Belgian breeders at enormous cost to the Department of Defense. First was Vortex, the alpha male, a 90-pound brindle powerhouse with a bite that registered over 800 psi in tests, enough to shatter femurs. Vortex had flunked 2 previous handlers for uncontrollable aggression. With Alex, he transformed into a precision instrument. Next, Reaper, jet black masked, lean and explosive, specializing in silent takedowns and high-speed pursuits. Finally, Shadow, the smallest but smartest, a master of stealth searches and explosive detection with a nose that could find traces buried weeks prior. Alex spent months bonding. Long runs at dawn, play sessions that built drive, corrective training that established her as pack leader without breaking spirit. The dogs didn't just obey her, they adored her. She was their world and they were hers. In graduation demos, her team performed flawlessly, detecting hidden explosives under simulated fire, apprehending armed decoys without hesitation, obeying complex commands in multiple languages. She graduated valedictorian, the first woman in years to do so. Orders came swiftly: temporary assigned duty, TAD, to the Naval Special Warfare Center in Coronado to support the nascent multi-purpose canine, MPC program. NSW was finally embracing dogs at scale. SEAL teams recognizing that 4 legs could go where wheels couldn't, sniff what tech missed, and neutralize threats faster than any operator. Alex's trio was slated for evaluation. Could they integrate with SEAL platoons for direct action raids, halo jumps, maritime ops? She flew out with the dogs crated in a military transport, landing at North Island Naval Air Station under the California sun that felt softer than Texas blaze. Coronado was a different world. The beachfront compound buzzed with BUD/S candidates in Hell Week, sand-covered and broken, instructors barking orders that echoed across the grinder. The SEAL ethos permeated everything. Excellence, no excuses, team above self. But beneath the professionalism lurked old-school attitudes. Women in support roles were tolerated, but direct integration with teams. Skepticism ran deep. Alex reported to the K-9 liaison, a grizzled master chief who welcomed her professionally but warned, "Keep your head down, petty officer. These boys play rough." She did. Quarters were Spartan, days filled with conditioning the dogs to NSW-specific stressors. Helicopter rappels, underwater confidence, dogs muzzled for swim tests, tandem freefall simulations in wind tunnels. Alex ran them relentlessly, building stamina for carrying gear, endurance for long patrols. The dogs thrived, drawing eyes from passing operators. Some nodded approval. Those malice looked dialed in. Others, like Chief Ryan Hawk Hawkins and his tight-knit crew, saw threat. Hawk was a legend in Team 3, multiple combat tours in Afghanistan and Iraq, Silver Star for a daring extraction under fire. Tall, built like a linebacker with a hawk tattoo across his chest, he embodied the warrior archetype. But change grated on him. Women in the teams, K9s stealing glory from breachers? He grumbled in the team room. His inner circle, Petty Officer First Class Jax, Bulldog Morrison, a breacher with a temper, Toro Valdez, Sniper Scout with a cruel streak, and Grim Reaper, no relation to the dog, a comm specialist known for dark humor, echoed his sentiments. They watched Alex's sessions from the sidelines, mocking her German commands, her softer voice compared to their bellows. Tension simmered for weeks. Alex ignored it, focusing on mission prep. She documented every training evolution, building a case for full K9 integration. Commander Elias Grant, the O5 overseeing the program, took notice. A forward-thinking officer from Annapolis, Grant saw the future in hybrid human canine teams. He pulled Alex aside one day. "Your dogs are impressing the brass, Thorne. Keep pushing." The breaking point came on a Friday night. Alex had just completed a grueling night detection drill. Dogs finding buried IED simulants in the dark. Exhausted but satisfied, She kenneled the trio in the secure holding pen. 20-foot concrete walls, chain-link roof, designed to contain even the most determined escapers. Protocol called for withholding food post-midday to heighten drive for Saturday's appetite work sessions. The dogs paced hungrily but settled. Alex headed to the female berthing for a quick shower and rack time. Hawk and his crew had hit the bars in San Diego, downing beers and venting. "That chick thinks she's hot shit with those dogs," Jack slurred. "Bet she'd piss herself without her clicker." Hawk, nursing resentment from a recent eval where Grant praised Alex's demo over his platoon's traditional breach, nodded darkly. Time for a Coronado welcome. They piled into a truck, sober enough to drive, drunk enough for stupidity. Spotting Alex alone on the dimly lit path near the kennels, they struck fast. Jax and Toro seized her arms in vice grips, Grim slapping a palm over her mouth. Alex exploded into action. Heel stomp on Toro's instep, elbow to Jax's ribs, headbutt attempt on Grim. Navy self-defense training kicked in, but numbers overwhelmed. They dragged her kicking to the pen, Hawk scaling the wall first for lookout. "You think you're SEAL tough?" Hawk growled, face inches from hers. "Let's see how you fare with real animals. No treats, no commands." They heaved her up and over. She tumbled 10 feet, landing hard on packed dirt, air knocked out. Pain shot through her shoulder, but adrenaline surged. Snarls erupted immediately, the dogs, starved and territorial, charging from corners like missiles. The men whooped from safety. "Rip her apart, boys. Nobody here screams this far out." Phone's illuminated faces twisted in glee. They anticipated horror. Limbs torn, blood-soaking camo. Reality shattered expectations. Alex rolled to her knees, ignoring agony, eyes locking on Vortex barreling in. His ears pricked at her scent. 20 feet. 10. 5. He slammed brakes, sliding to stop, tail whipping wildly. Reaper and Shadow piled in behind, not attacking but leaping joyfully, tongues lolling, bodies pressing against her in ecstatic greeting. Whines of recognition filled the pen. The laughter choked off. Alex rose slowly, voice calm despite pounding heart. "Sits." All three sat instantly, eyes adoration fixed on her. "Was this Los?" she asked softly. "What's wrong?" Vortex whined, nuzzling her hand. Above, jaws dropped. Hawk stammered, "No fucking way." Alex turned upward, expression steel. "These are my assigned MWDs, Chief Hawkins. Vortex, Reaper, Shadow, my pack. You just assaulted a handler and endangered DOD assets." Silence, then panic. Phones lowered hastily. Alex commanded, "Fuss." The dogs heeled perfectly as she walked to the gate, unlatching from inside. She exited regally, trio flanking protectively. Hawk's crew scattered like roaches, but too late. Alex memorized faces, noted names from uniform tapes. She reported immediately to the duty officer, bruises blooming as evidence. Dawn brought reckoning. Commander Grant convened an emergency mast. Hawk, Jax, Toro, Grim stood at attention in khakis, faces ashen. Alex, bandaged but composed, presented her statement. Confiscated phones yielded damning video, audio clear. "Get ripped apart, bitch." Grant's fury was controlled but volcanic. "You idiots nearly killed a sailor and irreplaceable canines over some macho bullshit? This isn't 1980. Assault, endangerment, conduct unbecoming, careers on the line." Hawk blustered weakly. "Prank gone wrong, sir. Initiation tradition." "Initiation? For attempted manslaughter." Grant thundered. "NJP for all. Demotions, pay forfeits, extra duty, and restriction to base pending possible court-martial." Alex interjected professionally. "Sir, request leniency on dog involvement. They're trained for drive, not fault here." Grant nodded. "Noted, but these clowns ride desks for months." Word exploded through the compound. Alex became instant legend among some. The chick who tamed the beasts mid-attack. Others whispered jealousy. Hawk's demotion to senior chief stung deepest. His crew scattered to menial tasks. But resentment doesn't die easy. Hawk seethed quietly, blaming Alex for snitching rather than his actions. Subtle sabotage began, equipment misplaced during joint drills. Rumors spread in team rooms questioning her competence. Alex pressed on intensifying training. She introduced innovative evolutions. Dogs fast roping from hovering hellos, detecting in submerged containers for maritime interdiction, even basic breaching support by alerting to tripwires. Commander Grant submitted her for commendation. Enter Lieutenant Junior Grade Marc Delgado, callsign Rogue. A rising star in SEAL Team 7, Marc came from a long line of Navy. Grandfather at Midway, father a Vietnam swift boat skipper. Progressive without being soft, Marc held 2 Bronze Stars from Ramadi and Helmand. He volunteered for K9 Liaison after seeing Alex's demos. These dogs changed the game, he told Grant. Faster clears, fewer casualties. Marc approached Alex post-drill. Thorne, that was impressive. Turning a clusterfuck into perfection? Respect. She eyed him warily, tall, athletic, with sharp Hispanic features and easy confidence. Thank you, sir. Just doing the job. Over weeks, collaboration grew. Late nights in the planning bay poring over blueprints, integrating dog routes into assault plans. Marc pushed her. What if we tandem jump with them? Halo insertions undetected. Alex researched, trained dogs in harnesses for static line, then freefall. First jumps terrified. Dogs muzzled, strapped to her chest, but trust held. Vortex loved the rush, ears pinned in exhilaration. Personal barriers softened. Shared MREs during field ops, stories exchanged. Marc spoke of losing teammates to IEDs. Dogs could have saved them. Alex opened about Texas roots, father's ranger tales, mother's animal wisdom. Sparks ignited. Lingering looks, accidental brushes. But uniform code of military justice loomed. Officer enlisted fraternization taboo, careers enders. Twist 1 deepened when Hawk's crew, on extra duty, accidentally mishandled feed during a joint exercise. Dogs received tainted rations. Laxatives hidden to cause diarrhea, discredit Alex's care. She noticed immediately vortex off, lethargic. Vet confirmed contaminants. Investigation traced to kitchen access, Hawk's restriction detail. Confrontation in the grinder. Alex cornered him. Poison my dogs? Low even for you. Hawk smirked. Prove it. But Shadow's nose did. Alex ran an impromptu search. Dog alerted on Hawk's locker. Finding residue. More discipline. Hawk confined to quarters. Respect shifted. Younger operators gravitated to Alex's sessions, volunteering as decoys. Marc defended her publicly. Thorne's the real deal. Anyone messes with her pack answers to the team. Then came real-world validation. Intelligence flagged a high-value target network in Syria. ISIS remnant cell plotting attacks on U.S. embassies. DevGru usually tasked, but conventional SEAL platoon augmented with experimental K9 element for proof of concept. Marc's platoon drew the op. Alex and dogs attached. Hawk, expertise needed despite history, reinstated limited duty. Pre-deployment training intensified at a classified site in Nevada. Full-scale mock compounds, live-fire integration. Dogs shown, clearing bunkers faster than men, detecting caches buried deep. En route via C-17 to forward staging in Jordan. Sabotage reared again. Mid-flight, Vortex's crate malfunctioned. Latches loosened. Risk of escape in turbulence. Blame aimed at Alex for poor securing. But Reaper alerted unusually, pawing another crate. Inspection revealed tampering tools hidden in Hawk's gear bag. Sabotage attempt to frame her negligence. Ground the dogs. Confrontation in the cargo bay. Alex furious. You'd risk the mission for pride? Hawk defiant. Not everyone thinks you're God's gift. Marc separated them. Enough. Hawk, you're off dog ops. Thorne saves this. Hawk isolated, grudge boiling. Boots on ground in the Syrian desert. Moonless night insertion via Hello, miles hike to target compound. A fortified village housing the cell leader and bomb makers. Dogs led point. Shadow sniffing wind for explosives. guiding patrol around daisy-chained IEDs that would have shredded the team. Breach, flawless. Vortex sent first into courtyard. Silent alert on guards. Marc's team neutralized quietly. Inside, chaos potential. Cell awakened, AKs blazing. Ambush from hidden tunnels, insurgents swarming. Marc took rounds to vest and leg, pinned behind wall. I'm hit. Flanking fire. Hawk, nearby, hesitated fractionally, old bias flashing, then suppressed. Alex unleashed hell. Search/apprehend. Dogs exploded forward. Vortex launched at gunman atop roof. 200-pound impact sending him over edge. Reaper dragged wounded fighter from cover. Bite on arm disarming. Shadow burrowed into tunnel, emerging with HVT by pants leg. Leader captured alive for intel. In melee, insurgent RPG aimed at Marc's position. Hawk saw a dove, taking shrapnel graze to shoulder, deflecting blast. Redemption moment. Covering fire allowed Alex to extract Marc. Exfil under fire. Dogs scouting safe path, alerting to pursuers. Team extracted intact, HVT bagged, cache destroyed. Debrief in Jordan, mission hailed success. Embassy attacks averted, key planners eliminated/captured. K9 integration validated, report to Pentagon recommending expansion. Back at Coronado, medals pinned. Alex earned Navy commendation with V, promotion to Petty Officer First Class. Marc, Purple Heart and promotion track. Hawk, despite wounds, confessed prior sabotages in private to Grant, requesting transfer to training cadre, seeking atonement. Personal twists lingered. Marc and Alex, bond forged in fire, confessed feelings post-mission. Regs be damned off duty, he whispered during debrief downtime. Careful romance bloomed, secret meetups, future plans. Years passed. Alex became lead instructor for NSW K9 program, training dozens of handlers, pioneering women in the role. Her original trio retired honorably to the Texas ranch, Vortex siring litters that continued legacy. Final revelation. Cleaning father's attic, Alex found old footlocker. Inside, classified documents from Vietnam era, Jack Thorne not just ranger, but loaned to early MACVSOG for experimental war dog program, precursor to modern NPCs. Photos of young Jack with prototype Malinois in jungles, notes on training techniques mirroring Alex's gift. Hereditary destiny unveiled. She visited his grave, whispering, "You prepared me all along." Duty continued. New threats emerged. Alex and Fresh Pack deployed repeatedly, legends growing. Those who underestimated, they learned eternally. Never throw a Thorne into a den with her wolves. The ranch awaited retirement, but the call of service echoed louder. America's freedom guarded by unbreakable bonds, human and canine. Hey warriors, that's the full epic. Drop a comment right now. Where are you watching this from? Deep in the heart of Texas? Sunny California? The hustle of New York? Midwest farmlands? Or forward deployed overseas keeping us safe? Tell me which part of the country or world you're holding it down from. Like, share, subscribe, and stay frosty, Patriots.